What's going on, people? I'm making this video from one of my son's apartments. He just got this apartment and I bought some furniture for him. He came out of it in efficiency, and the first time I bought the furniture, it couldn't fit inside the building because for some reason the door was like too low and the hallway was quite narrow, so I couldn't get the couch in there. So he had to settle for a bed and a futon at the time. So now, a year later, he moved out of the efficiency and got a one-bedroom apartment, which is quite nice. I like it here. The scenery is great, everything. And so I got the whole suite. The long sofa, unfortunately, didn't fit in the elevator, and it didn't fit in his door coming to his apartment. So I settled for 2 love seats, which is quite nice in here, especially for him, 24 years old, and got him some lamps and stuff like that. So it's quite nice in here. Just got to get him a dining room set now, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I'm shooting this video from his apartment, right? But hopefully I won't be too long on the subject. There are people that still commenting on a video that I made quite a while ago regarding continent Africans and the so-called Black Americans, and how the so-called continent Africans feel about the so-called Black Americans. And to date, I'm still getting a lot of response. Of course, I'm getting criticism, and there's people that's trolls that's attacking me, which I don't mind, because that's a part of that's all a part of the game, man. If you're on YouTube, regardless of how good you are and how nice you try to be, there's going to be trolls that's going to attack you. Okay, so that's just all a part of the game, right? But I get these comments where, and I think a lot of these people that's under ghost accounts, I think a lot of them are Black Americans just by how they word their comments. And they pretend to be from Africa, but yet they attack me. And then you have the so-called Black Americans that go hard and defend those from the continent. But before I get started, because I got so much going through my head, you have these so-called Black Americans that think they have knowledge, and even these people that say they're from the continent under troll accounts, which I think a lot of them are so-called Black Americans pretending to be Native Africans. And they always come back with, I could say Africa, and they'll say, Africa's a continent, has many countries within it. And then they want to try to give you this whole, what they think is knowledge, and they tell you how ignorant you are and how you need to study and how Africa is a continent. I hear that so often among so-called Black Americans. It's like that's the only thing they know. They learned it, and now they want to try to make everybody else think that they're dumb and they're the only ones that know that Africa is a continent, right? But let me burst your bubble just a little bit. Are you aware that Africa is not the only continent in this world? No, Africa is not the only continent. There's North America, there's South America, there's Asia, there's other continents. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's like 6 or 7 known continents, or what they classify as continents in this world, right? So Africa is not the only continent on this planet. It's just like when the continent Africans say, I'm going to America, right? Well, we could be technical and say, well, America, South America, North America, which one? Because North America and South America is a continent, right? And so stop doing that. I mean, you don't realize how dumb you sound. You try to sound so intelligent, but you're stupid. You're coming across quite stupid, and it gets annoying. What's annoying is the fact that you're so dumb and you think you're smart, right? That's number one. Number two, with all of these Africans that's coming here to this country, and they come here and they look down their nose at the so-called black Americans, and then they want to tell you how great Africa is. Well, if Africa was so great, why did you leave great Africa? Now, I understand that there's a lot of students that come here. They get the education here and then they go back to their continent and try to help, right? I understand that. But for those of you who come to America and make this your home, and then you try to fit in, and while you're looking down your nose at the so-called black Americans, you're like culture vultures, man. You're stealing the culture. How can you steal the culture of a people that you don't like or that you view as Nakata, right? And there's different people that comment and talk about, oh, what a kata means, and they make it try to sound rosy and nice and whatnot, but we know it's not. Depending on how you use that word, it's not nice at all, right? So if Africa is so great, why are you here in America trying to steal the culture of the so-called black Americans that you look down your nose at, right? And for those of you so-called black Americans that like to say, well, Africa was going through their struggle at the time too. They were enslaved too, and they were going through this too, and they were oppressed. I don't care about them, because you know what? They didn't care about us. You understand? They didn't care about us at all, right? Over 400 years, 500 years that the so-called black Americans been here in this country. Now, one Africa, now you have African nations, for example, Nigeria, that may welcome the so-called black Americans. They welcome you there because they want to use you. It's a type of slavery. They want to use you. They want you to come there, bring whatever education and knowledge you have, or whatever talents you have, or whatever skills you have. They want you to bring that there to Nigeria or different parts of Africa to help build Africa, to build their land. They're not doing that because of the fact that they want you. And for those Africans that's always bragging, talking about I'm from Africa, but you're here in America trying to be Americanized, you can't talk, man, because you allow China and other countries to come there and take your land. China bought up a great portion of Africa. It's owned by Chinese, by the Asians, right? So technically you don't own your own land. You don't own your own land. The Asians own it, because Africa, the countries in Africa are in debt, right? So you depend upon other countries, man, especially the UK, I'm guessing Russia, Asia, and even America. You have all these countries, man, that's got their hands on the continent of Africa, and you guys allow them to come there and plunder that. And then you have the audacity to come here and brag about Africa. And for those of you so-called black Americans that want to talk about how great Africa is, well, I don't see you denouncing America. I don't see you moving to Africa and giving up your citizenship here. I don't see you doing that. See, a lot of y'all that do go to Africa and try to hang out there, you still go there with that mindset, I'm an American. You still throw that American weight around, although you're in another country or you're in Africa. And I say another country because you might end up like maybe in France, Germany, wherever you decide to go. You still go there with that American attitude, and you use America as a prop, as a scapegoat. I'm an American. If you get there and get caught up in something crazy, the first thing you're gonna say is, but I'm an American. Okay, but when you were here in America, you talked about how oppressive it was and how they keep black people down and how you can't wait to leave, right? And you didn't want to involve yourself in nothing here because it's the white man's knowledge. But once you end up in Africa, I don't see you giving up your citizenship. I don't see you denouncing American citizenship when you move to Ghana or Kenya or wherever you go. I don't see you doing that. You hold on to a dual citizenship so that anytime you want to, or when you get tired of trying to play African, you now board a plane and you come back here to America to live in this slave-infested nation. See? So, you guys are hypocrites, man. You're dumb. If Africa is that great, why are Africans leaving? And it's funny because you have these Africans from the continent will come here and tell American blacks, you should go back and visit sometime. You should go. It's a beautiful place. It's a great place. You would do well there. But they are here. It's like trading places. They want to trade places with you. They want to be where you are, black Americans, and you're here and don't take advantage of the opportunities that's presented to you. So they want to be where you are. So of course they're going to tell you, you should go back and visit. We're brothers, 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 we're brothers. We all the same. We all the same. You Africa. They don't look at you as that, man. They're trying to trade places with you. They would tell you to go to Africa, but they're here. They're here trying to establish themselves here. And not all Africans that come here are here for an education to take it back with them. No, they're here. And they're here to stay. Right? So don't be deceived. So for those that's from the continent, man, if it's so great, why you here? Don't come here bragging about how great Africa is and you're here trying to be like American black people. Dressing like American black people, sagging your pants, wearing your hat backwards. The American style, you're trying to adopt that for yourself. You're trying to fit in here. But yet you don't want nothing to do with the so-called black Americans. Every now and then you may find an African that's cool and they blend right in. They're cool, right? And I said in a video I made maybe last week sometime, when black Americans, you have to really be careful, man. And I told you, don't always bet on black. Because you have people coming here from other countries, man, right? And they're blending right in, right? And some of them, you don't know that they're foreigners until they open their mouth or something gives them away. But they blend right in here, right? And before you know it, you know, you're like supporting them and empowering them, and yet you're still on the bottom, and they don't do anything to empower you. You know, they want your energy. They feed off of your energy. They're culture vultures and vampires. They feed off of your energy. You protesting for them, and then once they get where they want to be, then they look down their nose at you. They walk all over you. Look at what happened in these Asian stores, these Arab stores. And the Africans are no different, right? So I'm going to end that for now, but I just thought I'd do this quick video while I'm at my son's crib. It's a nice place. I like it here, actually. Nice and cozy. And I was telling him he should get a bunch of plants, you know. You know, plants are real therapeutic, you know. Put all these plants, so get a lot of plants and make it homely, you know. A little safe zone, you know. So feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe, share the video. Click on the Cash App button and donate to this channel. Until next time, I'm fearless.